Even Earth's 71% is covered with water. Okay, now almost 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. So keep that in mind. Getting it? And this water exists in different forms. It exists in different states, right now. So it exists in the frozen state also. It exists as underground water also. It exists as saline water also. Saline water means water that has salt in it. Getting it? It exists in the frozen state in the form of polar ice caps or icebergs and glaciers. Getting it, Abu Bakr and Priyanka? So almost 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, right? While the 29% is basically land. Okay. So out of this vast amount of water that is present on the Earth, okay, we see that almost 97% of this water is basically salt water. It is saline in nature, which is unfit for our consumption. Getting it, everyone? Out of this 71%, I'm saying that one minute. 97% is saline water. It is salty in nature, which is unfit for our consumption. Getting it, guys? That is one thing. So we are left with almost 3% of the water, like close to 3%, not exactly, but close to 3%, which is fresh water, which is fit for our consumption. Getting my point? Which is fit for our consumption. But that too is not available, all available to us. Okay, let me just put some figures over here to you guys. Out of the Earth's surface, we had learned that 70%, 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water and 29% is covered with land. Now, out of the 71%, okay, now consider that this pie chart is representing the total amount of this circle represents the total amount of water on Earth. 71% of, or just understand this as total water. Total water on Earth. Now, out of the total water that is on Earth, sorry, I say that almost about 97% is salt water. Getting it? Almost 97% is basically salt water. Basically, saline water. So, which is unfit for our consumption, right? So, we are just left with about 3% of water which is left. It is fresh water, which is fit for our consumption, which we can put into our daily use. We can use it for bathing, for cooking, for drinking, etc. So this much here is only the fresh water. Okay, but there is one problem here again. We are not having access to all the fresh water. We are not having access to this 3% of fresh water. So can you guys think why we are not able to have access to this 3% of water? What is the problem associated with this? Yes, Abu Bakr. Yeah, Priyanka. First of all, kindly confirm if my voice is reaching to you guys or not.
Yes, sir.
It is now? Okay, so try to respond. Yes, course. How are you? So I'm saying that all the fresh water on Earth, it amounts to only 3% of the total water. And that is also not accessible to us. Accessible to us, you understand, like you can't get all of it. Why? Because most of them are stored in ice caps. Most of them is in the frozen state in the ice caps or in the glaciers, and some of it is in the gaseous state also in the form of water vapor. Getting it? So that is the problem with that. You can't have access to. Okay, no issues. Was okay. So I'm saying that the fresh water that we have on Earth, That too is stored, and that too is found in the frozen state in the form of iceberg, glaciers, right? Further, a good amount of water is in the air also in the form of water vapor. Water vapor. So we are having a very less amount of fresh water. Okay, no, that is the case. So only 3% of the water is fresh water, and out of that 3% is also, you see that almost 67% out of that is frozen in the glaciers and in the form of the snow. So 67% of fresh water is in the frozen state. Sorry, in the frozen state. Getting it? So you are left with only 33% of fresh water now. Getting it, guys? So you are having access to only a small amount of fresh water. So just imagine, despite 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, out of that total amount of water, 97% is saline water. Now, so you have only 3% of fresh water, but you don't have access to all of it. Getting it? You don't have access to all of it. Why? Because 67% of that total fresh water is stored in the frozen form. It is found in the form of icebergs and glaciers and in the gaseous state here. In the frozen state, particularly, and in gaseous state. Is this much clear to everyone what we have tried to discuss here? Yes?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. No? Where is the confusion, Priyanka? Where you're getting confused? In the numbers you are getting confused, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay, there is the problem. Now see, you can understand it in the following manner. Suppose, let me just take some of this consecutive, some of the circles here. See, this big circle is representing the total amount of water on Earth. Okay, it shows the total water on Earth. Okay, is the total water on Earth fresh water? Is it fresh? No.
No, sir.
So 97% of the total water on Earth is saline in nature. Salt is mixed in it. Getting it? So this bigger portion here is representing this bigger portion here is representing saline water. Getting it? That is almost 97%. So that is 97% saline water. So this, you are just left with 3% of fresh water, 3% of water that is fit for our consumption, which we can put into our daily uses, whether it be bathing, clothing, cooking, food, or drinking, etc. So this is basically 3%. 3% is fresh water. So now this smaller circle is now representing what? It is representing the fresh water. Getting it? This one is now representing fresh water. Okay.
Yes.
Now in the fresh water, we are seeing that 67% of the fresh water is found in the frozen state and in the gaseous state. Getting it now? So say that this much here is representing 67%. And 67% is found in the form of frozen state. Frozen state. So it will be found in the form of like on the top of the mountains, it will be found right now, like ice caps, like this. This is called as ice cap, no? Getting it? It will be, some of it will be found in the form of water vapor. Okay. Some of it will be found to be floating. So thereby you have got glaciers also, right? So 67% of the fresh water is this. Getting it now? So that is the classification which I'm trying to explain here. Like the total amount of water on Earth is 100%. So I mean to say, like out of the 100% of total water, 97% is salty. 3% is only fresh water. Now, when we take a look at the fresh water, okay, so 67% is in the frozen state. Okay, na? In the form of ice caps, water vapor, and glaciers. So what about 33%? So 33% of it is found in the, either it is found in the underground, it is stored in the underground, and in the form, it is found in the rivers and in the lakes or in the ponds. Getting it? So this is found in ponds, in found as underground water, lakes, rivers, etc. Tell me if this much is clear now. You must be getting confused earlier in the numbers, like all this number might be confusing. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Abu
No,
Bakr
sir.
is still here in the waiting room. Do you also, it is clear now? Was?
Yes, sir.
Okay then. So this was just a general introduction to the topic here. Okay. Like about the presence of water where it is present, right? Further, life on Earth is possible because of water, right now. Life on Earth is possible because of water only. If there were to be no water, life wouldn't have been possible, right? And also, you know that there are several theories like how water came on Earth. Okay, now if you were to discuss some interesting things, so it is said that water was not always there on Earth. Water on Earth were were brought by the asteroids and the comets. Okay, now through the history of the through when we take a look at the history of billions of years of Earth, so we get to see that water actually came was water on the Earth was brought upon by the asteroids that were having frozen water in it, or the comets which brought the water to the Earth, right now. So there are several theories about how Earth got its water. The most favored, the most accepted explanation is that it came from water rich asteroids and comets. I suppose you guys have heard of asteroids and comets and all that, right? Okay. So that is also one of the important theory, like how the water came on Earth. All right. Okay, let's get back to the main topic now. So this was just some interesting thing, a background to water, basically. Okay. Also, like some other things, like the first life originated from water, it is said. Right now, there are several theories. The widely accepted theory is that first life on Earth originated in water. This is just a theory. Keep this in mind. Okay, that is the case. So in the chapter wastewater, so far we have just learned a brief background of water. Okay, talking about the wastewater here, wastewater. So wastewater basically refers to water that is contaminated. Contaminated meaning that unwanted harmful substances are present in the water. So thereby water becomes contaminated. Okay. So when the water present on the earth, in the oceans, in the seas, or the rivers, or the lakes, or the ponds, or under the ground gets contaminated, then it is said to be polluted water. And this is basically water pollution happening. Getting it now? And because of the contamination of the water, it leads to change in physical, biological, and the chemical property of the water. Getting it? If the water is contaminated, so its physical property will be changing, its chemical property and its biological property will also be changing. Let us understand what I mean to say. When the factory waste would be releasing, factory waste are added to the water, so the chemical property of the water is changing now. Like so many toxic metals, heavy metals are being added to the water. Heavy metals like arsenic, heavy metals like lead is being added to the water. And if people were to consume that water in which heavy metals from the factory are added, so it can damage our organs. Getting my point, what I'm trying to say? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it can result in the change of the chemical property. Okay, where heavy metals have been added in it. Okay. Plus, also, like why is it that in the third world countries or in the country stricken by poverty, the children that are born there are usually malnourished and also they suffer from lots of diseases. Particularly, one of the main reason is that the water that they drink is unfit for consumption. The water that they would be drinking contains heavy metals in it, contains lots of contaminants in it. So by birth only, since the birth only, their growth will be not proper, will be distant, will be basically will be not proper. Getting it? Okay. By the way, what are third world countries? Which countries are called as third world countries? Yeah, Gos, Abu Bakr. Basically, it's a term that is used to describe countries that are economically very weak and they are still in the phase of development. Okay, now where a good population of the people would be suffering from poverty. Poverty, you guys understand now what does poverty mean, right? Yeah, like when people will not be having
Yes, sir.
enough finances, enough resources, and enough money to read their basic requirement. Okay, so that is the case. So one of the major problem is that, like, um if a country is like you have a third world country, so development in that country will also not be good, right? Proper sanitation will be lacking. Proper sanitation will not be there. There will be open drains all over that place. Drains will be open, and people will not have access to clean water and to clean food also. So when people will not be consuming clean water, so it is obvious that they will be suffering from waterborne diseases also, right now. So particularly children living in the third world countries, they suffer from waterborne diseases also. Getting it now? So they are one of the main reason why children living in the developing countries are more likely to suffer from waterborne diseases because the water quality is poor, there is no sanitation. Okay. See, there is this problem, this disease called as diarrhea. You must have heard of diarrhea, right? You guys turn your cameras on in the class now.
Yes, sir.
See, it is estimated that every year about 15 lakh children are killed because of diarrhea. How much? About 15 lakh of children. That's a big number, right? And most of the children that are killed due to diarrhea are from third world or the developing countries, poor countries. Getting it what I'm trying to say? And why? How is diarrhea caused? Diarrhea is caused due to contaminated water, due to polluted water. Getting it, guys? So that is one such problem. So when the water will be polluted, it will give birth to several kind of diseases. Diarrhea is just one of it. Apart from that, we get to see that like um, diseases like typhoid is common. Okay, and due to consumption of unfit water, contaminated water, diseases like typhoid is spread. So that is the problem associated with contaminated water. Okay, it will lead to several kind of diseases also, and hence it is unsafe for drinking, or in fact it is unsafe for other purposes also, like unsafe for cooking, unsafe for cleaning the clothes, etc. That is one thing. Okay, so this was just a small introduction to the chapter. In the chapter further, as I have explained in the beginning, what are the things we're going to learn? We're going to learn about the major water pollutants. Okay, like from where all these polluting materials are getting added into the water. Let me, you guys tell me, what do you guys think? Where is all the pollutant? Pollutant, by the way, are the substances that pollutes the water. You throw a plastic bottle in the water, water will be said to be polluted. You throw a peel of banana, or you throw vegetable peels in the water, water will be said to be contaminated. You throw mud or sand in water, water will be said to be contaminated. So the substances that makes the water polluted are called as pollutants. Okay, no, pollutants. Pollutants. Okay. So you guys tell me that what are the major sources of water pollutants? From where all these water pollutants are getting added to the water?
Sir, factories.
Fact is one of the obvious reason, and yes, and
Because we are throwing plastics in water.
okay. So we can say domestic waste also, household waste, right? Different kind of waste are thrown from the house also, and that gets added into the water, right? So a vast amount of wastewater or sewage basically, like it is dumped into the water bodies, right? That basically comes from the houses. Okay. Then industries, the factories would be removing harmful chemical substances into the water body, right? Okay. Here plastic, here's Priyanka, good. Okay, think about the agriculture. Can there be some agricultural waste also that can pollute the water? How can agriculture be one of the reason for pollution of water? Think about this. What do we add to the crops to improve to improve the yield of the crop, to increase the output of the crop? What do we have to add? Generally, we have to add fertilizers. No, we need to add the fertilizers to the crops to improve its productivity. Okay, farmers also have to kill the pests also. Pest, you understand, no? The insects that will destroy the crops. So pesticides are sprayed to the crops to get rid of those insects or rodents also that can harm the crop. Getting it? What else? What happens basically when farmers would be using these chemicals like fertilizers or pesticides or herbicides, etc.? These are some of the chemicals that the farmers would be spraying on the crops to get rid of the pest or to enhance the yield of the crop. And say that rainfall is occurring there. Rainfall is occurring, a heavy rainfall has occurred. So eventually, all of these chemicals will wash off from the agricultural land, isn't it? And all of these chemicals will be washed off from these agricultural land, and eventually, all the water might be going to a pond or to a lake or to a river, right? So agriculture is also one of the reason for water pollution. Why? Because when the farmers would be using um, a high amount of fertilizers or pesticides or insecticides, or if there happens to be a rainfall, So all these chemicals are washed off by the rain, and it will be taken to the water body, and then it will contaminate that water body. Okay. Okay, tell me, are ships also responsible for water pollution?
Yes, sir.
How?
Sir, because the smoke will come, right?
Repeat again.
The smoke.
Okay, smoke, it will be added to the air now, so that will be leading to air pollution. How it will be leading to water pollution? Oil spills, right? It is spilling of oil, isn't it? Yeah. So oil spills often occur due to accidents or leakages of oil in the seas or in the oceans. Okay, no? So that is one problem. What else? Yeah. So basically we can sum it up that there are different sources of water pollutants. Okay, now pollutants are coming from our houses, from the industries, from the agriculture. A good oil spill also pollutes the water. Okay, so these are some of the important sources from where the pollutants are added to the water body. Okay. As you guys can see, almost all the factories would be dumping their waste into the water bodies untreated, without treating them. The norm is that the rule is that if you have to dump the wastewater into a water body, first you need to treat that water, remove all the harmful contaminants from that water, and then throw it into the oceans or whatever water body it is. But do the factories follow this? Obviously no. That is one such thing. Okay, further we get to see that, like this is the drainage system basically. Okay, it's basically an arrangement to move the waste material from our houses, from the schools, from the industrial areas to a treatment plant, to a sewage treatment plant, which we'll be learning later on. Okay, no? And where it will be treated, all the harmful substance will be removed from it, and then it will be discharged into the water bodies. So you guys will be first writing all the important points. First of all, you'll be writing the important topics that we're going to discuss in the chapter. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay. Uh, by the way, just let me quickly provide the link of that drive link. Okay, na? Was in Abu Bakr, I have uploaded some of the PPTs there today. Okay, so make sure you guys check it out. Okay, now give me 1 minute, otherwise this will be missed. Just 1 minute. By the way, the last class, Priyanka and Abu Bakr, you guys were present. No? Was you were absent? No.
Yes,
So,
sir. I had a fever.
okay, like how do you know?
Sir, I had a cold. I went to the doctor.
Okay, okay. Now you're good, no?
Yeah, sir, I'm still sick, but the fever's gone. I'm still sick.
Oh, okay, okay. Take adequate precautions. Okay. Just give me 1 minute, okay, no? I can't find it on the other device, so I'll have to copy paste it from here. Just 1 minute. Yeah, by the way, in the previous class, Priyanka And Abubakar, we did discuss how you guys can improve your efficiency, how you guys can improve your productivity in terms of study. So are you guys working on
Yes,
that?
sir. Yes, sir.
Good. So what did I told that each day try to study 5 minutes extra, right?
Yes.
And at the end of the month, you will observe that just 1 minute. Hmm. Okay, so I have put a link. That is the link to the drive. Priyanka, make sure you open it. Okay. So there I have uploaded all the PPTs, not all, but majority of the PPTs are uploaded there. Okay. So you will find the PPT of the light chapter. Okay, all of it is not uploaded. Okay, some of it was paused actually. Okay. So the other PPTs I'll be uploading here. Okay, now. All right. So let me just write what are the things you guys are going to learn in the chapter wastewater story. All of you make sure to write down the chapter name wastewater story. You guys kindly check is the light chapter opening. Are you guys able to open the slide? Just a quick confirmation.
Yes, sir.
You are not? Okay. Are the overwritings visible? What I have written there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There was.
Okay, good then. All right. Yeah. So in this chapter, first we'll be learning about wastewater. You guys have to write down this. Okay. Now these are the important topics we're going to discuss. Okay. So first we'll be learning about like water pollution. Let's start with this one only. Water pollution. Okay, like what is water pollution? We'll be learning about this. Then we will learn about water pollutants, and its sources. Like where is it coming from? Huh? Where the oil, plastic, sand, um, where all these kind of waste come from. Okay, we'll be learning about this. Then we will learn about the diseases that are caused due to wastewater. Okay, now we'll be learning about this also. Diseases caused. So what are some of the common diseases that are caused? Okay, then we will learn about, in detail, we'll be learning about wastewater. Okay, like what is wastewater? Okay, and um, how we can clean the wastewater. Okay, so we learn about wastewater. Then we'll be learning about sewage. Then further we'll be learning about the treatment of the sewage also. Okay, now treatment. So we have waste water treatment plant. Priyanka, you are also able to open it, no? See if the link is not locked.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you have shared one request with me. Is that you with this email, Priyanka?
Okay.
Okay, I'm sharing it with you. Yeah, I have given the access to you. Okay.
Okay,
So we
sir.
have wastewater treatment plant, like how it basically works. Okay. So in this, we'll be learning in detail. Okay, we'll be learning about each and every step of cleaning of the water. Okay, then we'll be learning about this. Further, we'll be learning about like you might have like you might be aware of some of the plants that cleans the water in a natural manner. Okay, no? Like you might be aware of the eucalyptus plant. Like this particular plant, I'll be showing its image. So basically, there are some plants that will help in cleaning the water in the natural manner. Okay, so we'll be learning about that. So particularly, we have a section eucalyptus plant. Okay, and how it will be helping in cleaning of water. We're learning about this. Further, we will learn about sanitation at home and at public spaces and at public space. So we'll be learning about this. Then how we can dispose the sewage. Okay, na? Like one of the way is that in order to treat the sewage basically is referred to the wastewater that comes from homes and from the houses, from the industries, from the factories, etc. So one of the way to treat is that it should be passed through the wastewater treatment plant. Like here you can see this is the wastewater treatment plant. Okay, now this is an image of a wastewater treatment plant, not the complete image, but just gives a glimpse of a wastewater treatment plant, how it looks like. So that is one of the way to clean the wastewater. But there are some interesting concepts also. Okay, like we can clean the wastewater uh, we have the concept of composting toilets or chemical toilets are there. Okay, so that will basically treat the human waste. Okay, and it will convert it into compost basically, and that compost can be added to the crops as manure, as a fertilizer, as a natural fertilizer. Getting it now? So nowadays we get to see that many of the people, particularly like environmentalist, particularly people who are mm, concerned about the nature. Okay, now people who have an orientation towards the well-being of the nature. Not everyone is very conscious about the well-being of the nature, well-being of the quality of the air and water, but there are people who are very concerned about this, and that's a good thing. So they will install vermicompost, I mean to say vermi toilets, composting toilets at their home, where the human waste human waste, okay, the fecal matter would be converted into a compost that can be later also used as a natural fertilizer that can enhance the productivity uh, of the crop, productivity of the soil, I mean to say. So we'll be learning about such interesting things. So we have alternate arrangement of sewage disposal. Alternate arrangement for sewage disposal. Okay, so these are some of the major topics which we are going to discuss, although there will be some subtopics also which I have not mentioned, but these are the major topics based around which our discussion will be. If you guys happen to have any questions, let me know. Everyone have noted down these topics? Go take the screenshot, you can note it after the class. Okay, let me see if I can put the screenshot. I'm seeing if it goes there or not. No, I'm not. I'm unable to share the screenshot, so you'll have to take it. Okay. Have you? Have you taken?
Yes, sir, I took it.
Okay. Others have noted it. Confirm it quickly.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to visit that question after some time. Okay. As of now, let us learn about this wastewater. First of all, let me just go to this slide. Just 1 minute. By the way, there are several other plants also. Like this is the eucalyptus plant, which I was telling in the beginning, by the way. Okay, now in the index page, you had written the name of the eucalyptus plant. This is the eucalyptus plant, by the way. Okay, so the first topic was water pollution, right? Water pollution, right? So water is said to be polluted when harmful substances, when harmful contaminants are added into this So then by water is said to be polluted. Right. So that is the simple concept of water pollution. When the water present on the earth, whether it be on the seas, oceans, or lakes, or whether even if it be in the underground water also, if it is contaminated, so thereby it is termed as basically water pollution. Getting it? So that in simple terms is water pollution. So water pollution, it occurs when the water in the ponds, lakes, rivers, seas, and oceans seas, oceans, and underground is is contaminated, basically is contaminated by harmful substances, right? Now is contaminated due to due to addition of harmful substances harmful substances, right? So that is basically called as water pollution. And this water which is contaminated is toxic to us, and it is toxic to the environment also. Okay, no, it is not just toxic to the human health and to the health of the fish also. Apart from that, um, toxic gases would be oozing out from the polluted water. It would be released from the polluted water, right? So the air, it will, like normally when we pass across an open drain, for example, right now, so it gives a very bad smell. Releases it actually is releasing so much of gases into the air, which is harmful for the health. And prolonged exposure, if of one were to be breathing such kind of gases for a long period of time, it can lead to respiratory diseases also. Okay, so that is the case. Okay, further the question is, what are the major causes of water pollution? What are the main causes why water is getting polluted? So to understand that, we need to understand first about water pollutants, right? So uh, the substances the substances that are being added to the water, because of which the physical, the chemical, and the biological property of the water is getting changed, and thereby water becomes unsafe for consumption. So those part substances are called as water pollutants. So next you have water pollutants. The substances that changes the physical, chemical, and biological properties of water and makes it unsafe for consumption, unsafe for drinking or other purposes, and makes it unsafe for drinking and other consumption is called as water pollutants, is called as water pollutant. Okay, that is the case. So what would be some of the major water pollutants? Think about what are some of the major water pollutants. Yeah, one of the major water pollutants would be plastic, isn't it? Getting it? Plastic is biodegradable or is it non-biodegradable?
So non-biodegradable.
Non-biodegradable, no? And it takes a long period of time to decompose. Getting it? So we see that about 11 million tons of plastics would be added to the ocean, to the river or the seas each year. How much? About 10 to 11 million tons of plastics are added to the water bodies every year. How much one ton is equal to?
So
Yes,
1000 kgs.
1000 kilogram. Getting it? So 1 ton is equal to 1000 kilogram. Imagine this. Suppose if you were to add 1000 kilogram of plastic in just a small pond, so it will be visible and you can feel the pollution caused because of addition of merely 1000 kilogram of plastic to a lake. You will observe that the life in that water body, small water body, will start to die. Fishes and the aquatic plants will start to die. What figure I have told you? Is it just 1000 kilogram of plastic being added to the water bodies? It was about 11 million ton of plastics are being added to the water bodies each year. So just imagine the scale of sorry, just imagine the scale of damage it is doing to the water bodies and to the fishes and the aquatic plants that are living there. Getting it, guys? So
Yes.
next topic is the major major sources of water pollutants. Okay, the first one is plastics. Okay, so we have learned that plastic is basically, it takes a very long period of time to degrade. Okay, now, like it can take somewhere between 150 to 200 years for a plastic bottle to decompose. That's a really long period of time, and in this period of time it would have caused so much of damage to the nature. Okay, although recently you might have heard that studies are being conducted on some bacteria and worms that can decompose the plastics. Have you heard of such kind of news or read such interesting things? Yeah, scientists are working on how with the help of bacteria they can decompose the plastics. Getting it? But the success have not been achieved. Okay, no, so much of success has not been achieved, although there are some bacteria that can uh, help in decomposing the plastic. Okay, particularly some scientists in Japan are working on this. Okay, anyways, getting back to this main topic, as we were learning about some of the major sources of water pollutants, the first one is plastic. Okay, so in this I say that it is non biodegradable and takes about 150 to 200 years to degrade. That is one of the major source of water pollutant. Next is the oil spills also. Okay, oil spills. So each year we see that several tons of oil are spilled into the water bodies. Okay, no? Like due to the accidents between the ships, or due to the, if there's an old ship, so thereby many times we see that the oil will be leaking from that ship. Okay, so due to the oil leakage from the ships, or due to the accidents in the oceans, okay, or due to some oil drilling operations also that are conducted in the oceans, will lead to spilling of oil. And since we know that oil does not dissolve in water, why does oil does not dissolve in water?
So
What's the
oil is
reason?
lighter than water.
Hmm. Or its density is lesser as compared to water, so hence it will be floating. So due to accidents and oil drilling operations, oil drilling operation oil drilling operation basically here is being referred to that the oil is that is being dug out from the ocean beds. Okay, na? The natural oil that is taken out from the ocean beds, so that is called as oil drilling operation. Okay, now we have oil refineries. I mean, we have oil drilling factories set up in the oceans also. There is one oil drilling factory in the near Mumbai also. Yeah, there is one oil drilling factory there in the in the Mumbai high. Sorry for that. So oil spill is one of the major reason for this pollution. Okay. Apart from that, operations, oil is spilled into the water bodies. Third major source of water pollutant is coming from the industries also, industrial waste. Okay. So factories would be often dumping the toxic waste, toxic chemicals into the water body without treating it. Okay, no? Without treating them. So because of this, what will happen when too much of toxic substances will be added to the water body? So the pH level of the water body will be disturbed. Okay, no? pH level, I believe you guys haven't forgotten about this. Yeah, pH scale tells us about the strength of a substance in terms of whether it is acid, base, or whether it is a neutral substance. What if what is the neutral pH value?
So 7.
7, right? So we see that fishes would be thriving. They would be thriving if the pH of the water body were to be around 7. Thriving means that they will be living in a good condition, basically. Okay, now the fishes, the productivity of the fishes will be good. Okay, the reproduction and all that. But if the pH level were to be changed, if suppose the pH level were to drop to 5 or 4, so the water will turn acidic. So the fishes or the aquatic plant will start to die now. And how the water will turn acidic? Because of addition of toxic waste coming from the factories. So generally the toxic waste that are coming from the factory, whether it would be from the leather industries, whether it be from the automobiles or the textile industries, so they will be adding lots of waste to the water body, and those waste are generally acidic in nature. So hence the water body will become acidic, hence the water, the life in that water body, basically the plants or aquatic plants and the fishes will start to die. Getting it or not? So that is one thing. From here we are going to continue in the next class. Okay, no? Okay, if you guys have happen to have any questions, let me know. In the class, does anyone happen to have the chapter other than what is prescribed in the NCERT? I'm going to take names of the chapters. You guys let me know if there's anyone who have chapters apart from these. Okay, wastewater story, forest our lifeline, light chapter, electric current and its effects, motion and time, reproduction in plants, right? And then transportation in plants and animals. Okay, and respiration in organism. So these are the chapters which we have done after the half yearly exams. Respiration in organism was done before, by the way. So
Yes,
apart
sir.
from these, is there anyone in the class who happens to have other chapters, a
The
different
soil.
chapter? Soil, no? I was thinking about it. Soil. Thanks for letting me know. Is there anyone else who is having this chapter, soil?
Sir, can you wait 1 minute?
Okay, check it. Abu Bakr, you also tell me if you happen to have any other chapter. Also, have you received any update regarding the upcoming exams? Was and anyone?
Sir, soil is there.
It is there for you. Okay.
Yes, sir, we got the portion and the dates.
Okay. I guess you have shared it, no?
Yes, sir, shared.
You have shared it. Yeah, I got the message. Okay. So that's it for today's class. Okay. Was you just wait for 1 minute. I had to discuss few things regarding the assignment which you have uploaded. Okay. Just 1 minute. Others can leave, okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Just bye. Just 1 minute. It won't take much long. See, you can see the screen. See, these are the questions that you had uploaded recently. I believe on 12th or 13th of December. Yes, guys. See, in this question number 5 and 6, I had observed that you were having difficulty, like you haven't drawn the symbols accurately for the battery. Okay, no? So on both the terminals, on both the side, you can't be using the same one, same length, same vertical lines can't be used. No? Just 1 minute. Hmm. Getting it? What
Yes,
happened
sir.
here? Okay, I will have to reshare my screen. 1 minute. Mhm. See, so one of the line will be one of the vertical line will be longer, another one will be shorter. Okay, no?